Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and I really hope you are ready for this morning's beginner fitness Pilates session. I'm live in our VIP group, but I'm also actually live on my YouTube channel as well as a public live. So if you are on my YouTube, I'd love to know. And I'm doing a kind of example beginner fitness Pilates class this morning. So I'm not going to do too many complex moves. I'm not going to use any equipment. I'm going to really hone in on taking everything back to basics and working at that beginner level. Those of you that are instructors that are on my VIP group or you're on my YouTube channel, obviously you can spend longer and do more repetitions on each of the moves, depending on how long class you've got, whether or not you've got 45 minutes or you've got an hour's class. And those of you that essentially are using this for ideas for structuring your courses as well, think about maybe doing a little bit more of a longer warm-up or a little bit more of a longer cool-down as well. This is literally just, as always within my VIP group, most of my sessions are between 30 to 40 minutes. So if you are joining me on the live this morning, let me know. Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Demelza. And I'm using the Fitness Pilates mix from Pure Energy Go, the one that Rachel Holmes created, which is lovely. Fitness Pilates, Mind and Body Beats. Around there. I hope down right. Let me know if you can do it. Just to start with regards to our allotment and our breath. Good morning, Ronnie. I want you to start off with your together. Turn your toes out to the corners of the room. Realign your heels with your toes and take a moment to evenly distribute your weight between the right and the left foot. And then from here, just think about putting tension into the muscles, not the joints. So I don't want you to lock the knees. I also don't want you to lock your elbows when we come down to the floor. So think soft through the joints. As you come up into the pelvis, we're going to bring our pelvis into what we call neutral spine. And it's kind of a bit of a guide. It's definitely a start and a finish point. You won't stay in neutral. You'll move in and out of it as you're working through. But it's a great place to start to help to activate. And it's a great place to finish a lot of your moves as well. So I'm going to turn side on so you can see me. We're going to rock that pelvis forward and back. And I want you to be aware of how much movement you've got this morning in the pelvis. How does it feel as you move? And as you're rocking that pelvis, I want you to think all the way forward being point A, all the way back being point C. Now, I wouldn't want you to exercise in point A and stay there. I wouldn't want you to exercise in point C and stay there. I want you to find point B, the middle ground between the two extremes. So use that kind of as your marker for your start and your finish of your moves. Good morning, Sophie. Once you've got the pelvis in that position, move upwards through the body. Start to think about the length through your spine. Let your shoulders come away from your ears. Your body is lovely and long. We're going to home in on our breath. And in Fitness Pilates, we do what we call a diaphragmatic lateral breath. We utilize the diaphragm because of the direct correlation that we've got with the diaphragm and our pelvic floor muscles and our lower abdominals. So place your hands on the sides of the ribs. Take a couple of deep breaths. You're breathing in through the nose. And we don't mind in Fitness Pilates whether or not you breathe out through your nose or you breathe out through your mouth. If you want to do nasal breathing, that's absolutely fine by us. But what we do want you to do is when you're breathing in, feel your ribcage expand. And as you breathe out, you'll feel your ribcage move back inwards. So you're using this lateral diaphragmatic breath. You're letting your diaphragm move so that you can bring more air into the lungs. And then when you're exhaling, your diaphragm naturally moves up and it naturally lifts with it those deep muscles being your lower abdominals and your network of pelvic floor muscles. So take a moment just to get that going on. And the whole time we're centering through the feet. So relax the arms when you're ready, and I want you to circle your shoulders up and back. So loosen off here. Be aware of how that feels as you move. You just do as many repetitions as you want, then I'm going to rotate the other way. And as you're doing your rotations through your shoulders, be aware of whether or not there's a particular direction that actually feels better for you this morning. So for me, it's going backwards. So I want you to stay with the direction that feels best for you. Now circle then in that direction the whole arm. So for me, it was going back. For you, you might be rotating and circling forward. And that's absolutely fine. Give me 2 more. And then we start to move the body a little bit more. So we're going to look back and open. I want you to be aware of your chest. Let the tension go as you move through. Nice big rotations. 1 more each side if you can. So let that body turn. We take the hands down the sides of the thighs and we reach to the right and then we reach to the left. Lateral movement through the waist. Warming up the spine in this lateral position, side to side. You may notice a stretch on one side of your body as you're moving through. Remember, you keep your knees soft here. Keep the weight distribution even between the feet. Good work. Now bring the arms forward. Can you retract back on the right and then on the left? So we've got a little squeeze into your upper back muscles, back of the shoulder. I'm just going to turn side on so you can see exactly where I'm going with this. Pull back with that elbow. Well done. Give me 2 more. And then let the arms wrap round the waist. Bend the knees. Loosen off. That's it. From here, take the attention to your feet. Little pedal push. Going to lift up through the heels, and I want you to be aware of how that feels in your feet. Bring your right foot forward. Balance here. Think about your shoulders staying level, and I'm going to point and flex that foot. You don't have to lift it too high. Just a little point and flex. Now rotate the ankle. If you need to hold the wall, feel free. Go the other way when that feels good for you. Perfect. And then change the legs over. So I've just moved back a little bit so you can see my feet alignment here. Point and flex. Shoulders staying level. Rotate the ankle when you're ready. So we're not sinking into that supporting side. Go the other way. Perfect. I'm going to take your right foot. I'm going to tap it forward. Then tap it to the side. Tap it back behind you. Then lift into a balance. Up on the toes. Do it on the left. So we tap sideways. Back behind you. And then lift. Good work. So little tap. Now, depending on how you feel, on that lift, we can add an arm float. But if you don't want to raise the arms, just keep the arms down and just do the heel lift. Well done. Anybody who wants to can lift the leg instead of a tap. So you can make that movement bigger if that feels good for you. Or stay in contact with the floor. Everyone's balance is different. So you're going to listen to your body rather than comparing it to what I'm doing. Good work. Let's do 1 more if we can on the left. That's it. Perfect. And then lift. Okay, open up the legs and I want you to lunge from right to left. So take this little lunge and really feel the stretch going on in the inner thighs as you push your hip bones over. Nice stretch there for those inner thighs. You might want to take the hands to the legs. You could stay there a little bit longer. Some of you might want to take the hand down. Keep the head up. You don't need to drop that. Just feel the stretch in those inner thighs. Perfect. And then when you're ready, come to the back of your mat. Feel free to take your feet wider if you want. I'm going to take a breath. Lift as high as that feels good for you. Now, drop your chin come over vertebrae by vertebrae. Put the hands onto the legs and then stop there just above the knees and create a flat back. Roll up when that feels good for you. Articulate the spine, roll the shoulders, lift when you're ready, and then roll. So we're just going to take that half roll. Hands to the thighs, we create that lovely long spine, and then we roll. I'm going to do one more of these. Those of you that are instructors, if you were teaching this as a live class, you could do as many of these as you wanted to. But I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to lift and lower through my back. So I'm going to take a standing cat stretch, and then that little release into the back. So we're working the spine just in flexion and extension. Well done. Make your way down to the floor. Hands forward, feet back, coming into calf stretch. Bend the knee on one side. So in Fitness Pilates, we call this calf stretch because that's exactly what you're doing. Bend through those knees. Feel the stretch in the back of the leg. You can come down on the elbows if you need to. You don't have to be on the hands. Good work. Anytime you're ready, hold both legs straight. Drop the knees to the floor. We're going to sink back. This is your rest and recovery position. So you can come here anytime you want to. Stretch out. Let the back release anytime you need. Good work. So we're going to go into our first Fitness Pilates move, and it's called Superman. It's primarily for your back strength, but there's an element of balance in here as well. So these deep muscles are going to be kicking in around your center. Place your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Evenly distribute your weight now between the hands and the knees. This is your centering. We're going to take our back all the way up and say that's point A, all the way down and say that's point C. And again, I want you to find point B, somewhere in between. Lengthen the spine here. We're sliding opposite arm to leg along the floor. Bring it back when you're ready. Change sides. When you slide the leg away and the arm away, we're not shifting the weight. So we're staying even with our weight distribution between the hand and the knee that stays on the floor. That's it. So just that little lift and lower, extending away. Remember what I said about the elbows? We're not locking them. Just like you didn't lock your knees when you were standing. Now, if anyone is struggling to be on their hands and knees, we could lay flat down to the floor. Extend the arms overhead. The arms and legs can be as wide as you wish. I want you to squeeze the muscles in the bottom and slightly tuck under. So you're not going to push your bum out. Then lift opposite arm to leg. We can flex our foot as we lift that leg. We can lift with our thumb up, turning our palm in. So we can be here. Now remember your rest and recovery. So anytime you need to, you push back, relax and release. Let the hands release. Perfect. I'm then going to bring you into a mobility move for your back. It's called thread like a needle. We go from the same spot. We sit back just slightly, just to give ourselves a bit more room in front. Take your right hand to your temple. We're going to bend through and thread the elbow through the other arm, and then lift the elbow up high to the sky. Let's do 4 this side. So I want to show you where I'm going. So I'm going to turn the other way, bend that supporting arm, and then straighten. Trying to increase the mobility in our back, in our shoulder, and in our chest. When we've done 4 on the right, change sides. As you extend, you're lengthening the straightener, this supporting arm. Try not to lock the elbow though. So again, 4 on this side. Breathing nice and natural. Try not to hold the breath. When you've done your 4, I want you to go back to your right side again. See now whether or not that feels any easier, whether or not we can move any freer here. So just working through at your own pace, lifting and lowering. When you've done your 4, you're changing sides. Last 4 on the left. So the weight is just slightly back, just to be able to move freely here. Really great work. When you've done your 4, I want you to push back and stretch. Perfect. Let's lay on our side. Have our right leg on top. Come down onto the elbow on this side. So elbow is underneath your shoulder. We're going to do a move called our side lying clam. Feet come in line with your bottom. Nice and strong here. And I'm going to start to open and close that top leg. So as you lay, think about pulling your waist away from the floor. We're stacking our hips. So as you lift the leg up, you're not rolling backwards here. Opening up too much. So keep it with me. And this move primarily is to strengthen around the muscles around your hip. So that top thigh is going to be working. Feet stay together. And you are opening and closing this side. Perfect. Exhale as you lift maybe. If you want a bit of a breathing pattern there. Well done. You might find that fatigue's quite quick. So when that happens for you, we're going to come to sitting. We're going to place the soles of our feet together and have a little stretch there. So a little bit of a stretch into those hip bones. Before we change sides, let's pull up tall. Bring the legs in front. Feel free to bend them or straighten them wherever you're comfortable. Sit up onto your sit bones. Arms come out in front of you. We're going to make a C shape with our spine. Come back till we feel our abdominals kick in, and then we rise. If you want to lift your arms, you can. Don't worry about going back too far. Some of you might not want to go back that far. So if that feels good for you, you can just stay with a smaller movement, tucking your pelvis under. So this move is called roll back, the half roll back. It works through the abdominals, but also it works hugely on the mobility that you have within your pelvis and your lower back. So if you find that you are struggling with this move with regards to the articulation of your spine, hold on to the back of your legs and just work onto this little pelvic tilt. So you're going to round and then lift. So I want you to just work on that mobility within that lower back. And that can be your move, yeah? You don't have to take the hands away. Certainly if you find you're struggling to come back and then to lift. We're not going to be there too long, don't worry. Just a little bit of a wake-up call. Good work. Okay, let's bring it onto the other side. So our elbow goes down. Feet stay together. We lift and lower on this side. That's it. So think about pulling away from the floor. Hips stay stacked again. Elbow underneath that shoulder. And our feet are kind of almost in line with our bottom here. The other hand can be forward. And we've got this side lying clam. working through to strengthen the muscles around the hip. See how that feels. And again, you're doing this at your own pace. So you might be moving quicker than me. You may be moving slower. With your abdominal muscles, try not to kind of lock them in and keep them kind of held in the whole time. No muscle should be hypertonic. It shouldn't be under tension constantly. So just breathe nice and natural, and every time you exhale, feel those muscles tighten. And when you inhale, feel them relax slightly. You're certainly not pushing them out, forcing them, but you're also not sucking them in. Again, when that fatigue starts to kick in, we don't want to do any more, we can come back to our seated position and we can stretch our hips. So hopefully you're feeling good. Really well done. So gang, lay yourself down into the floor. I want to do a little bit more activation through our abdominals. If you need to have something behind your head, please do. Relax the arms here. The distance with your feet is really your choice. They can be hip distance, they could be wider if you needed to be. And the distance between the heels and your bottom is your choice, so you choose. Let's bring our pelvis and push the back all the way down into the floor, point A. Lift it all the way up from the floor, point C. Again, I wouldn't want you to exercise all the way in point A or point C. Let's find our point B, which is more of our midline between those two extremes. That should feel nice and soft, nice and secure there. Relax the upper body. We're going to slide one leg away as we exhale. Inhale as we come back. So remember what I said about when you breathe out, the diaphragm naturally lifts those abdominal muscles up. Our pelvic floor muscles engage. So I want you to breathe out as you slide your leg away. And then in as you come back up. Press away. It's a little leg slide here. So our leg slide primarily works through these deep core muscles. You're going to feel maybe your back working as well as those abdominals. Anybody who finds this relatively easy, if you want to take it up a little bit, feel free to take opposite arm to leg away. So you're getting a little bit more of a challenge to keep that back in that neutral spine, because you've got a double distraction now. You've got the leg distracting you and you've got the arm distracting you. If the arms are no good for you, or you find that your back starts to imprint more than it naturally does or arch any more than it naturally does, just lose the arms. Just stay with the leg. So I'm going to challenge your coordination a little bit, and I'm going to get you now to move same arm, same leg. One of the main principles of Pilates, the original Pilates, is concentration. We also have a little bit of coordination. So it's great to mix it up from time to time, using same arm, same leg, but also using opposite arm to leg. Do as many as you wish. Anytime you need to rest, feel free. You can hug those knees into your chest. Take a little bit of a breather. Let that back relax and release. Well done. So from here, I'm going to take your arms lovely and wide. We're going to work through the sides of the waist, but also mobilize the spine a bit more. We're going to take this into our knee roll. Arms go wide like a scarecrow for everybody. Shoulders now are your stabilizers. That's where you're centering. Some of you might want to come up onto the toes and roll your knees from right to left. Some of you might want to take the legs up tabletop position, and then roll from right to left. So we can't stay in neutral spine on this one. We use it literally as a point that we come back to here. Then we come out of it and come back to it again. Some of you might want to have the knees together. You might want to have the knees separate. That's fine. Be comfortable for you. Don't worry, we're not going to be here for very long. So whenever you're ready to move on, bring your feet down. We're going to come into shoulder bridge. So little pelvic tilt, just coming up vertebrae by vertebrae, up to like a little ski slope shape, with your knees the highest point of the slope, shoulders the lowest, and then roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. The feet can be hip distance again, or they can be wider. There's no law, especially if you feel quite tight in your hips. Feel free to take those feet wider. Our centering now is through our feet, just like it was when you were standing. So as you're coming up, try to keep that even distribution of your weight between your right and your left foot. You'll activate the muscles in the back, in the bottom, the back of the legs as well as you come up. So you'll feel those muscles tighten within the bottom. You'll feel your lower back kicking in, back of the legs kicking in here as well. Nice and strong. Inhale, exhale, rise when you're ready. Nice natural breath. Try not to hold the breath. Shoulder bridge is another mobility move. So it's a mobility move like your thread like a needle. So there's no real breathing pattern here. I just want you to make sure you're not holding your breath. It really helps to open up through the hips, stretch through the front of the thighs, and mobilize your spine. So make the next one your last one. As you roll down, give your knees a little hug. Well done. So those of you that are instructors in my group, if you're using this for ideas, obviously depending on the group that you're teaching, will depend on how long you spend on each exercise. You might give them a little break and you might come back to that again. So you might repeat after they've had a little bit of a breathe, a little bit of a stretch, then you might do each move again. Circle round on the lower back if you want to, maybe rock side to side, whatever feels good for you. I like to do this with my ankles crossed, rotate to the right, rotate to the left, and then uncross my feet, cross them the other way. Take the knees over to one side of the room, hand over to the other. Little stretch there. Opening up the chest, changing sides when you're ready. With the knees over, bring the hand over, bring yourself up to sitting. Good work. Grab a drink if you need to, gang. Give your legs a little shake. We take our right leg, take it out to the side. Left leg can be tucked in either here or here, wherever you feel comfortable. We're going to take a breath, exhale, and just walk our hands towards our foot. If you can hold on to that foot, amazing. If not, hold on to the ankle, hold on to the floor. But pull the toes to you and just give yourself a little bit of a stretch down the back of the leg. See how that feels in the back of the leg as you move through. We may want to take our left hand, lift, and have a little stretch in the side of the waist as well. Good work. Place the soles of the feet together. We're going to take our elbows and we're going to push down with our elbows to our legs. But at the same time, I want you to push your legs up to your elbows. So you've got a 50-50 kind of % resistance here. So 50% pushing down, 50% pushing back up again. Lean your body slightly forward. So you may be feeling a bit more of a stretch in your inner thighs, maybe more around your outer thighs, your hips. Your body will tell you where you're tight. When you've held that for about 20 to 30 seconds, move the attention to the left leg. So we take a moment just to stretch here. Again, if you can hold the foot, amazing. If not, don't worry. Pull the toes to you and feel that lovely stretch going down the back of the leg. With our right hand, we're going to bring that round. Stretch the side of the waist here. Perfect, we release. Bring yourself around back onto all fours. I want you to mobilize that back again. So lift and lower. Just working through point A to point C. Allow that back to relax and release. How does that feel now? Sink back to your rest and recovery. Walk the hands along the floor. Open the knees as wide as you need them to be. Take the hands over to the right now. Left hand on top, head down low. So a little bit more of a deeper stretch down the side of the waist. Change sides when you're ready. Back center. Walk the hands to the feet, bend the knees, and then roll up slow. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Bring the neck and head up last and roll your shoulders. Take a moment to let that tension go from your upper body as well. Can we go back to those rotations? I want you to see how your shoulders feel. Whether or not that feels any easier to open the chest and to move now. Pedal push through your feet. Loosen off here. Be aware of how the feet feel. And let the arms wrap around the waist like you did earlier. We're going to take a breath. We roll halfway down. Hands to the thighs. Give yourself permission to let go of any last little bit of tension from the body. Let it fall out to the crown of the head as you're lifting and lowering. Inhale. Exhale. Give yourself permission to let go of any last little bit of tension from your mind. Again, let that fall out of the crown of the head as you lift and lower. So that when you stand a little taller, you stand a little stronger. We take a breath, inhale. As you exhale down to your heart center, find your perfect Pilates posture again. So think about your alignment. Your feet were under your hip bones, we weren't locking the knees. Pelvis was in our neutral spine. We lengthened out through our spine and our shoulders. Take a breath. As you exhale, we grew taller. I want you to lengthen that spine. Imagine your head getting closer to the ceiling. Well done. And then one more. Inhale. As you exhale, just take a moment to reflect on how you feel now in comparison to the start of the session. Hopefully that's better. Take your right arm above your head and your left. Right hand forward and your left. Right palm in and your left. Always in my class, give yourselves and each other a super round of applause. Gang, any questions over anything I did or didn't do, please let me know. I know obviously a lot of you in my group are not beginners anymore with regards to your fitness Pilates training, and you are wanting a little bit more advanced classes. So I think this probably was a request mainly from instructors to do this session today, to get some ideas. So those of you that are instructors, obviously that class was only 35 minutes. So you could spend longer on each move, you could spend longer on the warm-up, you could spend longer on the cool-down, you could do maybe some more stretches with the band, laying on your back. You know that I've done those from time and time again. You might want to do some more balance work whilst you're standing as well, absolutely fine. But I wanted to just show you a little bit of a blueprint, how I would put together a beginner class, keeping everything at that kind of back to basics level, but not spending too long in each position, keeping the body moving, keeping that blood flow within there. So my exercises essentially were Superman, thread like a needle, side lying clam, half roll back. Obviously we did the other side lying clam there, leg slide, knee roll, shoulder bridge. 7 exercises. So easy to put together with regards to your class. No problem, Sophie. My pleasure. Thanks. No problem, Annie. Absolutely fine by me. Good. Okay, let me know if there's any questions at all. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks, Demelza. Absolutely. Nice, gentle morning class for this morning. Take care, and I will see you on a live or on a catch-up. Ah, did you? Oh, okay, Annie, no worries. You're following me on YouTube. That's fine. No problem. Thanks, Ronnie. Take care, everyone. I will see you soon.